Welcome to the Film Junket podcast.
Film nerds, what's happening? Dave the Film Junkie here. Welcome to the Film Junket podcast. Feels like it's been forever since I've recorded a podcast. I don't know. It feels like a lot of things, guys. My God. Well, here I am recording a podcast in my new place. If you guys have been paying attention to my YouTube channel as well as my Twitter, because that's where I'm most vocal. There's so much social media. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. I can't handle it all. You know, there's like 5 different things that I'm on. You know, Instagram, Vero. I do have a Snapchat, but I don't fucking use it. Facebook, of course, and then Twitter. But Twitter is so simple, so easy. You know, it's whatever. I'm not big on taking pictures. If I see something cool, yeah, I'll take a picture. But I don't like selfies. I think they're weird. But sometimes I will take one. And I just feel awkward. I don't know how to... people that could just do that like crazy. Like, over the weekend, I was celebrating my birthday with one of my friends that I've known forever. You know, she had some of her friends who were people that were older ladies. And my God, did they take so many goddamn selfies. It was like, hey, can you guys just like put it down and hey, enjoy like some conversation for a minute? It's just a gene that I will. The sad thing is, they were older than me. That's what's so weird about social media, is it really grabbed onto the older generations and the younger generations. It just kind of missed, I think, maybe my generation. I don't know. It's very strange because, you know, my mom. My God, when she's somewhere, she takes a shit ton of pictures. She will upload every single one of them to Facebook and will tag who's in those pictures. Like if you were to go onto my Facebook personal page, pretty much like I would say about 91% of the pictures that you would find are just from tags. I don't upload pictures to Facebook. I don't even go on my Facebook that much because I think Facebook, I just don't even like it anymore. It's just crazy how, you know, she could be so, you know, people like in the older generation could be so addicted to that stuff. And then, of course, it's just the same as the younger generation. It's just very strange. It just seems like where I'm at, I'm like, hey, let's just talk. Can we put our phones away and just talk? And that's pretty much what it is. I think it's a good thing. By the way, guys, you're going to be shocked. This is not a vodka stream tonight. This is actually a wine stream. That's right. I bought a bottle of wine. And the reason I did, it's not because I was like, I'm sick of vodka. I wanted to change it up a little bit. I'll give it that. I haven't had wine in quite a while. So I was like, fuck it. Let's get some Pinot Grigio. Yeah, I'm not that fancy with it. I don't... the whole thing where sniff it and... whatever the hell, fermented grape shit, whatever the hell you do. I would gladly go to a wine tasting, but I would just get drunk. I wouldn't just be like, yes, this one's drier than, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. No, I went to, now that I'm living in a new town, I went to, the local, my Snyder brothers. For maybe people who don't live in the West don't even know where that is, but it's a very popular chain in the West. So I went to Snyder brothers. I was walking down the alcohol aisle, and all I see is beer and wine. I'm going, what the hell? They don't sell hard liquor here? And some towns don't. Some towns will only sell beer and wine, and that's it. Some towns don't even sell shit. They don't sell any alcohol. So I was going, man, this place is really that? And then as I was checking out, there's the hard alcohol right in front, locked up. And that just shows you what kind of town you're in when they lock up the hard liquor. That just means a lot of people were stealing that shit. Yeah. Where I live now, guys, is, as to before, it's a little more, it's a bigger town, and it's got its ghetto areas. It definitely does. The street I'm living on you drive down it, you're like, oh, this is nice. This is pretty. Oh, God. There's a bum having an argument with a trash can over there. That seriously, I actually did see that. So it's like a mix. It's like twice as big in the town that I used to live at. It's not even that far away either. I mean, it's another Southern California town. And, it's just basically what I could find. I mean, but don't worry, I'm not like in a ghetto, like a super ghetto, like neighborhood or anything like that. No. It's just, you drive one way or the other, you're going to find some, ghetto-ness. But where I live right now, it's gated, it's clean, it's good. It's good, guys. And yes, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how crazy shit, before I dive into stuff like, that I want to talk about. Life's been pretty fucking crazy, as you guys know, especially this month. And it really has affected, this stuff, especially, for instance, my tweeting, okay? I've been a little bit more douchier when it comes to my tweeting. I will say that. I've been really just fuck this or fuck that or just saying some shit. I actually tweeted out something where I even went back and went, ooh, yeah, that one was a little far. It was about the nun. People complained about the nun ad that was playing in front of videos that scares the shit out of people. Even though I didn't find it that scary, and I thought it was actually pretty creative and cool. And I just retweeted, a quote tweeted, and I said, can we stop letting pussies get their way? I lost about 30 followers after that one. Whew. And, I even knew, when I went back and looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's pretty rough. And I did delete the tweet. And I usually don't. I wasn't going to delete the tweet. But fucking Twitter has been a little scary lately. They're doing a little bit of purging. And you just got to be careful now what you say, which is a sad state of affairs where we're at right now. I mean, if you have a different way of thinking, guess what? You're probably going to get banned or just removed, whatever. So I deleted it mainly because of that. But I even knew too. I was like, yeah, that was a little bit too much. I get it that, they were playing in front of young, children's videos, which is stupid. It's like, come on, YouTube. You should be able to fucking control this shit. It was a creative ad. And it should be for, and I would gladly have that ad before one of my videos. If I saw that when I was a kid, I'd think it was fucking cool. So, I mean, as much as, yeah, people, and I even saw tweets where people, thought I was an asshole for saying that. And yeah, that's fine. But, I mean, I'm partial. I mean, yeah, maybe saying pussies was a little bit too much, a little too strong. But, I mean, Jesus Christ, like I said, if I was a kid and I saw that, I would gladly be like, fuck yeah. But, just the sad state of affairs is we're all a little bit more soft nowadays, sadly, so whatever, it's fine. But, I mean, the main reasons, and let me just give you the lowdown of what's been happening. I mean, it's been a crazy year. It's been definitely a crazy year. Everything was going pretty cool. Everything felt nice. All the way up to about March this year. Okay, I was, on my previous job, everything was cool. I had a work truck. I was half in the office, half in the field. I was taking trips up to Portland, and just having more responsibility. Everything just was seeming like it was just like, oh, this is cool. Everything's just pretty cool right now. And I was living in my friend's back house. Everything was just peachy. And then all of a sudden, my boss decides to quit, and he was holding, this company together, essentially, pretty much, that I was working at. And then things just started going downhill. And, yeah, things at that work were getting kind of like, what's going to happen? Are they going to close this place down? Because this place is fucking falling apart. So that was a little scary. And then, a couple months later, my buddy, whose back house I was renting, tells me that he's going to sell the house. And I'm just kind of going, okay, he's going to sell the house. He'll probably, put it on the market in a little bit. I mean, he didn't do it right away, and I knew he was going to do it right away. And then he said, he was like, oh, yeah, next week we're going to do it. And I didn't think it was going to sell that fast, but it did, of course, because it turns out one of the neighbors wanted to buy it or something like that. So then it became crunch time. And I was going to, look for a new place anyways because, I, went back to my previous job that I had before because they were like, hey, come back. Here's more money. Okay, that's fine. Stick it in my pants. So I went back, and that was stressful too because things that were happening there, I mean, for fuck's sake, guys, imagine going back to a job where they said a bunch of work is coming. You know, we need your help. We know you know all this stuff, and we could use your help. You know, here's what we're gonna offer, and we just want you to come back. And then after the first week, that first fucking Friday, they lay off 3 people. 3! What the fuck? I gotta remember, I can't be that loud anymore, man. I'm in an apartment complex. I'm not in someone's back house where I could just yell and be, you know, as much as, you know, and have my my big time orgies. Anyways, so that happened, and that was stressful because, you know, I'm not gonna go into all the logistics of it, but, you know, it's just kind of what the fuck is going on here, and it's been pretty crazy. I mean, you guys seen my videos too, where I mean, they had to lay off certain people, and then certain projects that were being handled were not being handled correctly. More people quit, and it made it where me and other people had to step up to the plate, and we had to get shit done. And I was working 12 to 13 hour days. I mean, they were killing me. I mean, since I've moved into this apartment, which I've only been here for a year and a half. Time flies. No, a week and a half. You know, it's like I felt like I couldn't do normal videos because I was getting home at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So I tried to squeeze out a couple short videos or something like that, which thankfully I started doing the short videos because, well, first off, the response has been great. You guys have been liking them. You know, hey, you know, it's quick. And, you know, I'm not saying they're not always going to be winners. I hate it when people are like, this is not funny. But I've even had people come to my defense going, he's not trying to be funny. He was just pointing out something and making a comment at it. I'm like, yes, I'm not going to always just have something golden come out of my face. I'm not that person. I wish, but, you know, it's not going to happen. So, that was stressful too. But of course, let's rewind before that. You know, it was really crunch time. I was trying to, you know, I was worried about, man, is this job, am I going to get hours cut? Am I going to get laid off? Is shit not going to work out here? That was on my mind, and I was losing sleep on that. And then to add on top of that I was trying to find a new place to live. And then not being confident in your job and trying to find a new place to live, it's not really, that's stressful. That's stressful. Because it's well, you know, because I've told you guys, my backup plan has always been move to Vegas. If shit doesn't work out, I'm going to move to Vegas. You know, I got family out there. My dad is out there. You know, and it's a better economy than in California. Because California's economy sucks. You get raped in taxes, man. That's why my dad moved out there. He was in the Army for over 30 years. If he would have moved to California, California would have raped his retirement. Taxed the absolute shit out of it. Nevada does not touch it. They don't have a state tax. It's crazy when you get a bill. I mean, if you're ever in Vegas or anywhere in Nevada, just look at your bill. I mean, look at the tax. It's just, it's nothing. You can have $175 dollar bill. That sounded weird. A bill at a restaurant, and your tax is a few bucks. It's what? It's crazy. So, that's always been the backup plan. And I was just I don't know what to do. It was just very stressful. My buddy was going, hey, I need you out. I need you out by this time because I want to close this deal and everything. So it was high stress. There was one Saturday I went out for 4 fucking hours in the heat. Yes, over 100 degrees. I'm driving around everywhere, within a radius of my work to try to find something. And I had so many goddamn locked leasing offices because the ladies at the fucking leasing office can just come and go when they please. That must be a cushy gig. I mean, it must be really nice that you could just oh, you know what? I'm just gonna, I gotta go do something. I'm gonna be gone for a couple hours. Who the fuck cares? As long as I have that little thing that you can hang up in the window, it says, we'll return at 2:45. And then here I am at 4 o'clock and you're still not fucking there. Fuck you. And it sucked too because I wanted to move to the town I grew up in. Basically, it was close to the freeway. It was great. The place was clean. It was pretty. I've been in those apartments when I was a cable guy. I used to do, work in those. I thought it was great, and I thought I was going to get it. But turns out fucking people. There was like people that already submitted an application and already put a hold on it, but they were coming from up north. Okay, and apparently they sent the application down. It wasn't correct, so they had to send the application back to these people. And so I was waiting, and hearing, and like it was shit because I already filled out my application. I sat with the leasing girl, and she went over everything. It all checked out. I gave her my bank statements. My bank statements checked out. It was pretty much just, hey, I'll just write you a check and I'll move fucking in. But now, I gotta wait till my boss and see what here. What the fuck? So I kept calling, and I just kept getting jerked around. And then, finally that Friday, and that Saturday where I was actually, going around, the last fucking place I went to is the place I am currently in right now. I showed up, and the landlady was super nice, super bubbly, super outgoing, and just basically sold the apartment to me, which was crazy. So I was like, I can't wait. And I already got, like, within, like, 2 days of turning in my application to the place I'm in right now, she called me and said, hey, the apartment's yours, this, that, and this. And I was still kind of wait. So I was stressing out about that as well. And then, of course, that turned out not to be the case. And then, so I had all that going on, guys. And to top it all off, this is something I haven't mentioned or anything like that, but to top it all off, I get a phone call from my dad. This is about 2.5 weeks ago. I get a phone call from my dad on the Friday at work, which was very random because, usually he knows that I'm working. He doesn't usually call during the day. And I'm like, why is my dad calling? He calls me up to let me know that my stepmom died in a car accident. Yeah. Just to, I'm already stressed. I'm already, and then all of a sudden you get that news. It's not, it was, what's crazy about it is like I haven't seen her in a while because they were separated. They were going through a divorce, and they actually just finalized their divorce too. But it doesn't matter. They were with each other for 18 years, when he got the phone call of that, you got to realize my dad is an Army guy. Army. That means tough. Okay. Like, he's funny, he's totally outgoing, like, my dad's great, my dad's fantastic, but when it comes to, like, those certain emotions, like, you don't really see him, he's always a tough dude. To hear my dad, he basically works in California still, flying helicopters, that's what he did in the Army, but now he does it for, like, transporting, not victims, but, like, patients and stuff like that, or, pretty much kind of what The Rock did in San Andreas. He kind of does stuff like that. And he always comments about that too. Like, he even commented about San Andreas, like, fuck, you can't do that. You can't do that in a helicopter. I always love it when, because he loves movies too. When there's like a helicopter scene in a movie, I always go, Dad, can you do that? And he just goes, come on, really? Yeah, and he always makes fun of all stuff like that. But anyways, to hear him talk like he did and just like, hear him on the phone like that was like, wow. I went back to my desk, shocked, not knowing how to feel. I even told the guy next to me. He asked me, what's wrong, man? And I told him, I was like, my stepmom, she died in a car accident. I didn't know how to feel. I was so shocked. But I felt like I was like, okay, I'm cool. I'll finish out the rest of the day. And then it was very difficult to finish off work. And other people noticed that I was like totally out of it. So, yeah. My God. I'll hold up my glass to her. It sucks. It sucks. Even though she... It sucks, too, because, I used to go visit them. When I was younger, in school still, I used to go visit. My dad always, he's always stationed somewhere else. And, of course, they were together for, like I said, 18 years. So during the summer, I used to, get sent over to them for, like, a month somewhere. So, I knew her a lot. I knew her well. She was always a little kooky, but, she was always really cool. But she was one of those ladies that could not age gracefully. She always had a problem with aging. She never had kids of her own. She had cats. That's one thing. You cannot deny the biology that we have, the way that we're wired, okay? Anytime a woman doesn't have kids, you can guarantee you she has pets, because that nurturing gene is within every woman. It's just the way it is. So she had an affinity for animals. And she had like 4 cats. Anyways, but she couldn't age gracefully, so she did a lot of things where she had surgeries and lifts and stuff like that, and she had her issues. So towards the end of their time together, my dad couldn't handle it basically, but I'm not gonna go into super details or anything like that. But so that's why they were going through a divorce. But can you just imagine that though? Somebody you loved for that long, almost 2 decades, and you finally finalized this, and he always said that he wished he could help her, and and he still was trying to help her as much as possible. And then to find out that she, died in a car accident, it's just, I was really worried about my dad, and just the shock of her being gone. Crazy. So, just understand, guys, that if I've been a little douchier lately, been not normal film junkie self, it's been a crazy few months. It's just been a crazy few months, but things are getting better. Getting through all that. I think she got buried today or yesterday or tomorrow. One of those. I know my dad was flying out to wherever she was going. Ohio. I know that. And, I'm going to see him this weekend, which is great. So that'll be good. But, I'm in this apartment. It's nice. I got central air, if you can hear it. Of course, that thing's blaring on because it's still fucking hot in California. And, the job, and working 12, 13-hour days sucked, but it seems to be settling down a little bit. And I can't complain. You work a long day like that, you get a nice paycheck. So you got to look at it. I'm single, I got no kids. So, what do I have to worry? Yeah, my baby is my YouTube channel. I get that, and I don't want to ever neglect it. I'm neglecting my website. I haven't updated that shit in a while. I need to do that like this weekend, which sucks. I need to hire somebody to do that. But, things are getting better now, and I'm hopefully, the video I did last night, the top 5 picks, my fan cast for Catwoman, that was a fun video to do. I took my time with it. I stylized it a little bit, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And I want to do more stuff like that. I want to bring casual Batman back. I've been talking about that forever. And I want to bring like the autocorrects back, because just doing strictly news and these little short videos where I make comments, yeah, it's fun. That's gonna be always the base, my core of this channel. But I want to do stuff too where I could watch and be like, damn, this is good, being creative. So, doing that video last night was super satisfying, and it's just, things are getting better now, guys, but I appreciate you fans out there that have been patient and didn't unfollow or just totally neglect me after, tweeting out some douchey stuff, but just realize, I was just going through a lot of shit in this past, couple months, big time. And hopefully I can get back to just being the more playful douchebag that I actually am. So let's get off all that. I've been, updating you guys. That's fine. I appreciate you guys, listening to all that. I know I just went on for like 20-something minutes talking about all that. But let's talk about certain things. I want to talk about the Snyder Cut movement, campaign, whatever you want to call it. I know some people don't like to call it movement. I don't really like calling it movement either. But, thinking about the Snyder Cut does cause movement in my pants. I'll give it that. But, anyways, the status of what's going on right now. It's always going to be around till, who knows. Of course, it's not as, it fluctuates because basically what's happening right now, and I was actually going to make a video about this, but I'll just talk about it here. But when it comes to the Snyder Cut movement, though, where it's at right now, I know they're doing like the snail mail campaign, and that's cool. I have, there's people that reached out to me about it, talking about it and like, what would it take, and I gave, the advice and I gave, the info that I knew. Am I going to take part in the snail mail Snyder Cut movement? No, I'm not going to. The way that I'm handling the Snyder Cut movement is just what I've been doing. You guys know that I've been in contact with, people that worked on the movie, and I've given you guys some info. I mean, there's still info that I haven't given out because it's really all about timing. It's really all about when should it go out there, and sometimes I'm instructed not to say anything, so I can't. But, that's just what I'm doing. This right here, this podcast, my videos, everything, that's my contribution to it. To me, I don't think sending letters are going to really do much, but it could have a positive effect. I'll give it that. I mean, especially if Walter Amata sees stacks of fucking mail and you're like, wow, Jesus Christ, look at this. It's cool, especially if people are kind and courteous in those letters and everything. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to shit on that whole thing. I know tensions ran high around Comic-Con time when I said, hey, Snyder is not going to be there. No, and people got on me and this, that, and this. And yeah, it's not, there's a lot of tension out there. And some people questioned my whole thing about it. And it's like, there's certain things that to me, I'm like, I'm not going to bother with that, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, as much as possible. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information right here from what I'm hearing, because I don't think it's anything like too crazy. But Snyder and Warner Brothers relationship is slowly just breaking apart. He's still a producer on like Wonder Woman 1984, and of course he's going to be like executive producers on everything because he created this world. No matter what, he is the father of this world. He cast the characters, he gave his versions of these characters. So you're going to see his name on Aquaman, on Flash. You're going to see his name on there, and I think he has more involvement with Wonder Woman 1984 because him and Patty Jenkins have a really good relationship and everything. So. But when it comes to his relationship with Warner Brothers, there's a reason why he hasn't been more active on, like he was, posting stuff on Vero, like deleted shots, behind-the-scenes stuff. They're not too happy with him. And in fact, I know he has an office at Warner Brothers. I think he's going to move out of that office. You guys know he's building himself a theater and I think an office too at his home, I guess, or wherever the hell it is. So I think he's going to full-on move in there. The status on Fountainhead and the last photograph, well, like I said, and Fiona actually confirmed this too, and I was like, there you go. This shows you that my source is correct. It's going to be a multi-part series. It's not going to be a movie. Fountainhead is not going to be a movie. It's going to be a multi-part. I think she said 10-part. I heard more, but who knows. The last photograph will definitely be a film. So that'll be his next full-on project. When it comes to doing the series, I mean, he's going to be the creator of I'm sure he's going to direct a couple of parts or episodes, but who knows where it's going to actually go. Is it going to go to Netflix? Is it going to go to Hulu or Amazon? Or will it land on HBO or something like that? Who knows? I don't think it'll land unless, depending on, hey, maybe FX will pick it up. Who knows? But as of right now, it just seems like what I've heard is he's probably going to move out of that Warner Brothers office, and then he's got the theater being built. And the movie theater is big, guys. It's big because, like I said before, he could show things in that movie theater. And you better believe that he would show the Snyder Cut in that movie theater. Maybe even invite the cast. That would be cool. But who knows? That'd be nice. I mean, like I said, he lives in Pasadena. I'm about an hour and 10 minutes away from there. Something like that. Oh, actually, I'm closer now. Maybe just like an hour. Probably less. I didn't think about that. I'm actually closer now. Oh, you don't know how many times, like, when he posts that he's at a coffee shop in Pasadena, I'm like, fuck. I look. I've even tweeted. I've even posted, like, screenshots. It would only take me this long to get there right now. One of these days. I'm going to go. I know he's going to do a thing where he's going to show, like, his movies and do, like, a Q&A panel. I even think Fiona said she was going to go to that. I think Chris Wong said he wanted to come to that, too. That'd be cool to meet those two in person. I mean, I've talked to Fiona just for DMs, I'm sure she's probably not liked some of the things I've said or, whatever. Even it's just the way it is. I mean, she has her way of doing things. I have my way of doing things. And Chris Wong has his way of doing things. Long as we all have that same, we want just the Snyder cut. Okay. Whether we agree or disagree with how each other's handling things, we're getting the message out there. We're constantly rounding up new followers, new people into the whole community. That's all that matters, okay? Whether you like the way I do shit or not, it doesn't matter. I'm still pulling in. I still get, subscribers every month, followers every month. It's all still happening, no matter how you feel about everything. But we're all on the same side still, So, yeah, and like I said, I'm not going to take part in the snail mail thing, but I'm not going to say, hey, fucking stupid, what are you doing that for? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that about anybody else that wants to take part in it. If you want to do it, do it. That's perfectly okay. It's just when I have a contact who talks to the man, I kind of just go, okay, let me just wait and get the word on, and guys, I mean, I've helped with other things that people don't even know about. That's just, and I'm not going to say what I've helped on to get out there. And I've, I mean, I've even given hints in my video about things. Not really hints. Well, maybe a little bit. But maybe, I've taken a page out of other directors' favorite movies. I don't know. I've taken pages out of that just to be like, is anybody going to catch this one? Well, what movies are you talking about, Dave? You think I'm going to tell you? I'll give you a hint. Just look at my Twitter page. And you can see, what movies I might have taken a page out of when it comes to just, stuff. Anyways, it's funny because I was wondering, I'm like, is anybody going to catch this? And nobody has. Nobody did. And those are videos that were from at least, a couple months ago or a month ago or something like that. It was just a little test. Don't worry. I still might, try to test you guys in the future. But I mean, the main thing that I was trying to just anybody gonna catch this? It's big. Definitely is big. And I can't say it right now. I'm sorry, guys. But I love to tease you guys. But I'm just saying, are you watching closely? So anyways, that's the state of all that. And I don't know what else I should talk about. Hey, let's talk about James Bond 25. Danny Boyle was supposed to fucking direct it, but he dropped out, which sucks because we were all looking forward to it. It sucks because who knows, the reason why. It's just, ugh. And I know a lot of people are like, Christopher McQuarrie. It's like, no. Just because he directed 2 great Mission Impossible movies doesn't mean we had to bring him in for this. Come on. Jesus Christ. Relax. Stop it. Suicide Squad 2 delayed, but it didn't really even have a start date or a release date. I don't know how it's delayed, but at the same time I'm going, well, does that means that Will Smith's going to do Bad Boys 3 and Bright 2? I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, that's cool. That's awesome. Now, there's my favorite baseball player growing up was Ken Griffey Jr. That's right. When I was a kid, my little white ass, well, half white ass, idolized a black man and nobody questioned it. But now it's now everybody has to idolize somebody who's exactly what they look like. I hate that. I just fucking hate that. I hate that about nowadays. And he'd be represented up there. It's like, well, can't you just find yourself in that person up there even though they don't have the same skin color as you? Please? Or sexual preference? Or even gender? My God. I mean, like I said, Ken Griffey Jr., I wanted to be him. I tried to bat left-handed. just to be him. He was a left-hander. I couldn't throw left-hander worth a shit, but my God. But nobody questioned it. Nobody cared. Just like they don't really care now. I mean, my God. You can ask like a little white kid about who loves basketball. He'll say his favorite player is like LeBron James or something like that. Nobody, he doesn't need to see himself. I need to see myself on the basketball court, man. Fuck. Stop it. I just hate that, I mean, I'm all about like, hey, fine, let's have some representation, but we have, but people don't want to acknowledge like previous stuff, I know everybody was going crazy about the Crazy Rich Asians, oh, we need more of this. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Jackie Chan was one of the biggest fucking movie stars in the 90s ever. Do you guys not remember that? There was a movie called The Joy Luck Club that had a complete Asian cast that was huge. Nobody cares. They make it seem like the Crazy Rich Asians are just, And nobody ever acknowledges Asian cinema and realizes how fucking good it is. My God. The people who are complaining about representation the most don't even know about Asian cinema, I don't think. It's like, do you guys realize that there's a whole other Hollywood on the other side of the world that has some really goddamn good movies? So good that we take their ideas, water them down, and produce shit here. Yeah, like your Ring, your Grudge, those movies. Those horror movies were watered down to shit. You watch the original ones. Ringu, my God. Some of the most graphic shit, too. Good, and they're action movies. Fuck. But nobody fucking cares. They need to be represented here, and they don't care. I know there's some. I'm not saying that not everybody. I don't know. I'm gonna end up getting myself in trouble with this, right? I'm just saying, like, there's a whole fucking Asian cinema that is just beautiful. Some beautiful fucking pieces of art. But nobody cares about that. They just, they want to, let's go try, And I'll make fun of the Scarlett Johansson thing. I always do. It's just funny to me, That poor woman, outrage culture keeps taking work from her. Yeah, it's sad, but what else is there? Spider-Man Homecoming coming out July next year. Of course, naturally, there's a lot of people that shat all over that. Hey, man! Hey! Okay? So what if I like Batman or Superman or Man of Steel? Just leave me alone. Why do you gotta shit on it? Oh, by the way, Tom Holland sucks my fucking ass, Spider-Boy, piece of shit, pussy boy. Fucking A, I hate that. Can we not be so hypocritical? It's like, hey, leave me alone. Don't fucking shit on the thing I like, but I'm gonna shit on the thing you like. I don't like that. I don't like the not Superman and the not Spider-Man. It's the same fucking thing, essentially. It's just like, you don't like that version of Spider-Man? Fuck off. Who cares? You don't like that version of Superman? Fuck off. Who cares? I mean, I get it. I get the argument of like, yeah, okay, with the first two Spider-Mans, they really went deep. And they really went Garfield and Jesus Christ, I'm totally drawing a blank. It's right there. You guys are screaming at me right now, and I can't even, I can see his face, and I cannot. Oh my God, it's right there. I gotta look, I can't, really. Oh, it's so dumb. I honestly, dude, I'm drawing a blank. This is what happens sometimes. Tobey Maguire. Jesus Christ, that took a bit. Anyways, they did great. But at the same time, I still enjoyed Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And I get the whole thing. It's like, hey, there doesn't need to be that much CGI. And there's something very strange about Disney and Marvel's, especially Marvel Studios CGI. When you watch like Man of Steel, I mean, yeah, you could pick apart some of that CGI if you wanted to, if you really wanted to. And you guys have heard me before in videos saying like, why are you picking this apart? What are you comparing it to? This, that, and this? Because there's always going to be an asshole out there that's going to pick everything apart. When it came to Infinity War, it's like, yes, cool. They did a fantastic job with Thanos. But why are we still having difficulties with Iron Man? Why does he still look not so fucking clean, sometimes? that's a little strange. It doesn't take me out of the story. It doesn't take me, fully out of it or anything like that. Don't worry. Like I've watched Infinity War twice now when it's been on video. I think it's top tier MCU shit. No matter what anybody says. Oh, it's forgetful. No, it's not. It's funny because when people say nobody talks about Infinity War anymore, you could say anything you want about Ant-Man and Wasp. That movie pissed me off, most of it, I enjoyed it for the most part, but it kind of frustrated the shit out of me. Yes, that movie was damn forgettable. Definitely not as good as the first. It was forgettable. They made Scott Lang dumb, but I still love Paul Rudd. I still love Michael Douglas. I even love what's her name, Evangeline. But they just made her character. They had to make her character shine by making Paul Rudd look like a big dummy. Yeah, you could say what you want about Ant-Man and Wasp. Fine, that was. But people who say it was a flop, it wasn't a flop. But when people say, nobody talks about Infinity War anymore, and then all of a sudden Infinity War comes out on video, and I'm seeing GIFs and everything just like crazy lately, and I'm like, see? Stop being like that. Dave, you're policing again. No, I'm just saying, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just saying. Can we just, respect? Just respect it. But it's just, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's, both sides. And I'm going to do a video sometime this week, maybe this weekend, about why BVS, like Batman or Superman, Man of Steel, they're still being talked about to this day. And people are always like, 2.5 years later. It's like, well, there's a reason. Just like when I gave you the reason why the big bloggers say the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. And I still see tweets about that. But it doesn't exist, says the bloggers. I'm like, can we stop that? You're just repeating. Stop policing, Dave! I know. I gotta stop doing my policing. I don't know how I'm policing. I'm not blowing a whistle and saying, no. I'm just going, hey, can you just not do that? Let's not be like that. You're being like them. When they're saying shit about these movies, you're doing the same thing to them. Yeah, but yeah, I look forward to that video and everything. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? I should have wrote a list. I kind of just hit record and said, let's go! Should I get into... Yeah, let's just get into the fucking questions. Why not? If you want to hit me up with a question, just hashtag it with Film Junket Podcast. That's the easiest way to find it. So here we go, guys. Let's see. At VibHuJ. You know how bad I am with names. I asked this before, still no feedback. What is your take on the mundane Matt situation and Grace Randolph, a race-bending dog story? The mundane Matt situation, I heard about it, but I didn't really look into it. I know this happened in the past couple weeks, but just the craziness that I've been going through. I haven't looked into it. I used to like that guy, but I heard he was being like a super douche when it came to shit. So I don't really have anything on that one, and I know he's being like a huge, just hypocritical douche. When it comes to the Grace Randolph thing, I have seen that. Race bending the dog. That was, I even went, oh God, Grace, what are you doing? It's just like, and it's sad too, because I see people on my timeline going, yep, she's a fucking racist bitch, fucking white girl, blonde hair, white girl, feminist bitch. I don't even think they say she's feminist. I don't think she's racist, where she's going to be like, showing up to a Klan meeting on a horseback. But, when she talks about certain things, she doesn't know how to say it right, first off. But when it came to what's her name? I don't even remember her name. Tessa Thompson being cast as Lady, I guess, in Lady and the Tramp. It's just, I don't even know what the fuck that is, because it's like, because it's funny too, because I remember when that happened, I got a response from a tweet saying like, geez, why is it that, Disney can't hire a black actress to play Cinderella, but they hire for a dog? And I just went, what the fuck? Okay, first off, yes, Cinderella's white. That's just how it was. Maybe eventually, I think there has been versions where she's been black. Other versions. There have been many versions of Cinderella, but they wanted to do a straight up adaptation of what they're doing right now. So they're casting the way that they were drawn. I have no qualms with that. do whatever. The casting has who the fuck cares? It's a voice of a character of a big, huge fucking movie. And Tessa Thompson, who is, I think she's what? Doesn't she have a little Latino in her? Little Latina in her, I think. You know, she's a woman of color who's going to be leading a live action Disney movie. Shut the fuck up. Who cares if she's voicing a dog? She doesn't, because she's getting a huge paycheck. Okay? And more exposure. She's already in the MCU. She's already making a fucking name for her. She's going to be in the new Men in Black. I just couldn't believe that when I read that. I'm like, good God, you are reaching. Are you fucking, you're going to pull a muscle. Clayton, Mr. Clayton. Claytalian. Good guy. How awesome is it that Brendan Fraser is going to voice Robot Man in the Doom Patrol? Yeah. That just got announced today, and I'm realizing that people just didn't realize that Brendan Fraser was already making a comeback because people only, freak out. Well, it's just that's part of being a part of a fan base. Anytime an actor or an actress comes into it, everybody celebrates. And like, he's making a comeback. I'm like, no, he was already in the mix of doing that. He was in that FX series, I forgot which one, where he was getting praised for that. So it was already coming. But like I said, that's just one of them. That's also a gripe of mine. It's like, can we need to open up the mind a little bit? It's not just this fan base. You got to point out when things suck too. Like if Gal Gadot is in a movie that sucks, point it out. Don't just praise everything she fucking does. It's always never going to be like that, okay? It's just the way it is. Michael Manette, he asks, why are so many people rooting against Venom and the other Sony Marvel films? For example, Black Cat, Silver Sable, Kraven the Hunter, etc. No, that's not the case, dude. This is where I'm getting at too. When a handful of the big bloggers like Mr. Conradical and those fucks, when they're against it, fuck them. Who cares? When I see constantly on my feed that people are like, can't wait for Venom, can't wait for this, can't wait for that, that's what I look at mostly. I'm looking at, okay, fans are more about it. Some of these big bloggers, a handful of them are not looking forward to it. But then there's a handful of bloggers that are. But, of course, nowadays we always have to lump everything together, when it's a certain demographic. It's not just don't even look at them. Don't look at those big bloggers and saying that. They're, it's not going to do badly. And I know some of these fucks want, Marvel Studios to have everything, And, but whatever, hopefully Venom kicks ass and it does well and it opens the door for more movies like this. I'm totally down for that. At Fearless Samurai, or the Quantum Samurai, is it true that Johnson's Star Wars trilogy being canceled? I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, unless, like, Kathy over there, Kennedy, is like, people didn't like Last Jedi, so fuck off. I'm sure there's going to be some tweaking involved. So that's the thing, though, and I love it how people give shit to Ryan. I even saw something today where people are shitting on Ryan Johnson again. There's like a video from a while back where he says that, he's a lazy writer and he rips off people. I mean, first off, everything's ripped off of everything else, okay? When movies first started, okay, there was only like a handful of ideas, and we just expand on those ideas. Good guy, bad guy, shit like that. But it's all about what you add to it. That's what I think about. I'm like, okay, they're going to take this idea that we've seen a million times, but let's see where they go with it. That's what I'm always about. It's like there's never going to be an absolutely super 100% picked right off the tree fresh idea. Never going to be that. But it's just the ideas they inject into that idea. That's what I'm looking forward to, That's what I want to see. And, whatever you want to say about Last Jedi, it totally did not do things that people guessed or not. That's the thing. The Leia thing. The fucking Luke thing. Did you expect Luke to just toss the lightsaber like that? No! And I think that's what Johnson was going for. He was going for like, hey, I'm gonna go a different way than people are expecting. And I totally respect him for that. Whether or not you liked it or not, who the fuck cares? The Last Jedi has a much... The final act in Last Jedi is way more superior than The Force Awakens. 100%. And I would even say, even, the prequels, yeah. I don't know. I still don't know my ranking of it, because I rewatched Revenge of the Sith. I mean, that's got a pretty strong fucking final act. Even though, I have my qualms about the birth scene. My God. I'm like, wait a minute. You didn't know yet you were going to have twins? What? Oh. There's just certain things where I'm like, Lucas, what the fuck were you thinking? But, when it comes to The Last Jedi's final act, I think it's fucking fantastic. The way he did that, way he shot it, way he, did all that, and people didn't like it. And it doesn't matter. I mean, JJ's coming back and he's going to fucking close out this saga. People are going to hate it too. Doesn't matter. People are never going to be satisfied. Why? Because that's not how I would have done it. Fucking hate that. It's not how I would have done it. I made a video about how I would have done Batman vs. Superman. And some of those ideas I still would stand by. But after seeing that ultimate cut, that beautiful fucking piece of goddamn art, I'm like, yeah, I would have done certain things this way, but I fucking love what Snyder did right here. That's not, he totally is surprised with this shit and that shit. Yeah, you can make all the fucking Martha jokes you want, but did anybody guess that was going to be... you know what I guess? I was like, I bet you Wonder Woman is going to fucking get between those two, and that's how they're going to mend their fight. I was like, Wonder Woman. It's got to be Wonder Woman. She's going to get right in between them, and then she's going to fucking resolve their beef. Little did I know that the name was going to strike some PTSD and make Batman realize he was a fucking douchebag, and then realize, oh, Jesus Christ, that's why he's been a fucking asshole this whole time. He's been fucked up. He's fucked up. 20 years doing this. Oh my God. This is so deep. God damn you, Snyder, and your fucking layers. And Terrio. And Goyer. Ah. So, anyways, back. I haven't heard anything about his Star Wars trilogy being canceled. Maybe I'm out of the loop. I don't know. Stephen Colbert, whatever. You know who he is. He sent me a GIF of Michael Scott from The Office saying, why are you the way that you are? Because I'm special, Steven. And you know you love me. Alec Chornos, at Aqua Alec. I know he wanted to actually come on this podcast. He wanted to talk to me on the podcast. I guess he does some stuff. Which might happen. I'm going to get back into where, I have people on here and stuff like that. I would love to have guests and more guests and everything. He said, ooh, and what would you think about using the new still and strength forces that are revealed to exist along with the Speed Force in the recent Flash War issues in the future Flash film? Sadly, I am totally out of the loop of all the new comic book stories. When Rebirth came out, I was on top of it. I was fucking reading as much as possible, and I fell off. Mainly because I made friends with a comic book store owner, and I would go in there and we'd talk shit and talk about all this stuff for like an hour, 2 hours or so, and then I'd buy a stack of comic books. Sadly, his store closed, and after that, I kind of just fell off. I still have a stack of books that I haven't read, so I don't even know what you're talking about. The new Still and Strength Forces sounds awesome. But I'd have to research on that, but hopefully they will. And then he also asked, do you think the Ultraviolet Lantern Corps from the recent JL comics, I don't know about that, would be a good villain motivator for in the Green Lantern movie future, maybe following a similar storyline? Hey, the way that they started off the Hal Jordan story, and even with the other Green Lanterns, with Cruz and the other dude, I can't remember his name, I was digging those stories probably the most. I mean, obviously I was digging Batman the most, especially Batman All-Star. My fucking God, if we could get that into him with that first story with him and Two-Face. God damn it was so good. I was digging the opening, like the Green Lanterns and the Hal Jordan Green Lantern. I was digging that and the way that it was like starting to come together and stuff like that. I was really digging that. So, I mean, the Ultraviolet Lantern Corps, sure. I mean, there's different lanterns out there, different lights. Hopefully they dive into that with the movie. JGG. Would you want the MCU to recast the X-Men or keep the same cast? Personally, I would like them to keep the same cast because McAvoy and Fassbender. Yeah, I like them too, but if they do, it's not going to bother me. I mean, they had their run. That's just the way it is, I don't know. Who knows if they're going to recast? I hope they don't. But what I found funny, though, is how they kept jumping a decade and nobody was aging. And they're supposed to be in the 90s in the newest one. And I'm like, you guys realize that X-Men, the first X-Men came out in like 2001? You both should be starting to look like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart right about now. So, yeah. That's funny. Sam Parker Metal. Do you subscribe to the theory that Lex was originally planning on using the other metahumans to kill Superman and then discovered Batman was active again and so just used him instead? It would explain why he created the logos for him. That's actually a good theory. I do like that. He wanted to name symbol for the public to recognize associated with it. Yeah, it does make sense. Somebody fucking post that on Vero. Snyder will respond, I'm sure. I'm sure that was part of it. Shao MF Booker. Do you think there is a faction of directors that are truly being scared off of comic book movie properties because of rabid fan bases, or is it too much being made of that? No, I think that's absolutely true. Christopher McQuarrie said that when he saw like everybody fucking hounding on Rian Johnson. He was like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I don't blame him. All fan bases are fucked up. And I know there's always a big dick measuring contest of who's the worst one, and I hate it when I see like, but DCU fans are bad. I'm like, well, yeah, you just proved it right there by being narcissistic, Somebody left Twitter because they were being hounded by their fan base, and then you're going to throw it on you. I don't like that shit. I hate that when people say that. I'm like, no. Yeah, MCU fans are bad. And Star Wars fans. Yeah, anybody who says that shit, fuck you. Don't say that. It's so dumb. You're policing again, Dave. I know. That's what I do. I got to break out the whistle in the short shorts. Be like, what's his nuts from Reno 911. Is that what they... Yeah. My mind. Matt, Diablo Mutant. Hey, Dave. Couldn't think of a question for the podcast, so I thought I'd say thank you for being a voice of reason in a community of fans reacting and yelling at each other, other when news breaks out and when things are announced. Thank you, sir. And that's what I try to be, guys. It's not that I'm trying to police or anything. It's not that I'm, trying to be a dick and, like going against the grain or something like that, and it's just a character of mine or something like that. I'm just trying to be a voice of reason because, like I said, there's something that happens with human beings, whether it's with politics, whether it's with anything, sports, with comic books, with movies. There's a tribalistic wiring that human beings have. And for some reason, I don't think I've had that. I don't think I had that wiring, or I, over the years, just fucking unwired it, rewired it. I don't know. Maybe that's it. But I can't just... I can't fully subscribe to just like one side of everything. When I see people, DC fans shitting all over MCU stuff, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I've even interacted, and it's sad. One of the reasons why I stopped doing the quote tweeting thing, because first off, I see the same, people getting quote tweeted, and they love it, by the way. Your Gail Simones, your Ashley Lynch's, whatever the fuck. They love it when they do that. They love it when you're going after them because it gives them exposure, and yeah, they absolutely love it. And I stopped doing that because I know that that's giving them exposure, and they want that, and they love, and they're just feeling antsy. Hey, let's piss off some DC Snyder fans. And I see the same names over and over again, and and then I see some of those names, And they love it. They love to shit on anything that the MCU produces in hopes that they have somebody that they can fucking quote tweet to their followers to make them look like a big man. You know, that happens even with me. You know, when people have gone after me and my fucking shoulders, they quote tweet, and I always make fun of that. I'm like, geez, you're trying to impress your fucking 106 followers? Wow, good for you. You know, that's pretty much why we quote tweet. That's the main reason why, is to impress our followers. But I see that, you know, I'll even see like, oh man, I got all these MCU fanboys in my mentions because of this tweet. And I've actually looked, and there'll be like one out of like 10. The other 9 are just like totally agreeing with that person. I'm like, God, do you have no life? And this happens reverse too. God damn, look, I got all these fucking Snyder fucking bros in my mentions, man. And I look and I'm like, you got about 4, and everybody else is agreeing with you. But that's the way we are. We always look at the small numbers and amplify them. Because, I don't know, I guess it makes us feel important. You know, anytime that, you know, an actor is driven off social media, you know, that's the sad part of fandom. But at the same time, I'm going, okay, what's the balance? What's the ratio between positive and negative? Okay? When I look at your mentions, I'm seeing more people praising and agreeing with you, because that's usually the case. And there's a small percentage that are pushing back. Why are you giving that small group of people a fucking huge platform over the people that agree with you? But we're in 2018. That's just what we do now. And I fucking hate it. You know? I get shit on. You know, I'll make fun of those guys that, you know, that all of a sudden see a video and they comment on my shoulder or something like that. I'll make fun of that and just have a good time. But that's it. And then I'll just walk away from it. But when you give me like a praise, like what you did right here, Matt, talking about being the voice of reason, that shit, I'm going to go ahead and retweet right now. You heard it here live. I just retweeted your tweet. It's shit like that I'm more like, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to retweet. But most people don't want to do that. They want to fucking fight. They want to fucking fight. And I used to be like that too. I used to be a little more, I had more fight in me, but I realized it's a huge waste of time. I'm looking at people like Chris Wong and some other people on my timeline, and they don't do that shit. I even said that when I've had Chris Wong on this podcast. I'm like, he doesn't really do that. He doesn't do that at all. He doesn't go after people. And it's funny too, because I've had people go like, fuck man, you know, you're always better talking to him, or, you know, he's a better voice of reason. It's like, yeah, and he's also doing the exact opposite you are doing by fucking going after everybody that disagrees with you. It's like, I have a different approach. Sorry, that's good. It's called like intellectual diversity. That's something that nobody talks about. Everybody just talks about skin color. Sadly, it's like, can we have what about intellectual diversity? Can we do that a little bit more? You know, multiple ideas, thoughts, sharing ideas, healthy debates, civil debates. Who care? I don't care where you came from. I mean, you could fucking give me the lowdown after we've had our discussion about something, but let's talk ideas. Who cares if you're white? Who cares if you're black? Who cares if you're Mexican, Chinese, Asian, whatever? Who cares? If you got something good to say, you got a good idea to share, fucking let's talk. And nobody wants to talk about that. The diversity in ideas. Now, it's all about how you were born. Something you had no control over. You know? When people are proud. That's another thing. I'm proud. I'm proud of being this, proud of being that. I'm like, you didn't achieve that. Be proud of something you achieved. You were just born like that. I mean, that's fine. If you want to celebrate where you came from, great. But this whole being proud shit, fuck that. Be proud of something you actually achieved. Something you have done. Not a genetic mistake. I mean, mistake's probably bad. Even, you know, people who are like, I'm proud and Irish. Okay. You didn't achieve that. Irish pride. Is that even a thing? Who knows? Anyways, guys. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate everything. Appreciate you listening to me. I mean, I know like the first 23 minutes I was just giving you the lowdown, but hey, this is like my therapy, man. It really is. And it does help just talking, knowing that people are actually going to listen to this, and stuff. So, I appreciate that. I mean, just know it's been a pretty stressful few months. Pretty much has. But things are now on the up and up. It's gotten better. Things are better, It's looking better. I mean, that's the thing about life. You just never know what's going to happen. And it just seems like with my life, every 3 to 5 months, there's just big changes that happen. So I'm kind of used to it. It just seems like I'm moving or switching jobs or, a relationship ends or something like that. It's crazy. It's been crazy. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Love you. And like I said, if you want to ask me a question, just hit me up on Twitter. It's the best way to do it. All right, guys? I'll talk to you later. 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 I'll talk to you later.